each volume of the collected works will have one new chapter. So while other chapters may have been published in very obscure places, possibly long ago, there will always be one chapter that's designed specifically for that volume. So for volume 1, I set out to write a chapter on phonology, since the other chapters were concerned with different aspects of the architecture of language, but with a focus on lexicogrammar. Semantics will come later, but it seemed appropriate to focus on phonology. On the one hand, because it's an area of language that's perhaps been less explored theoretically and also descriptively in systemic functional linguistics. Partly because, of course, it had been illuminated by Firth's prosodic analysis. But partly also probably because it doesn't lend itself to immediate payoff in text analysis or discourse analysis, unless the focus is on spoken language, as it is in Halliday and Greaves 2008, and indeed in earlier publications by Halliday. Another reason why phonology is good to include is that of all the systems of language, phonology, lexicogrammar, semantics, and of course also phonetics, which we still have to deal with. But in comparison with lexicogrammar and semantics, it is in some sense simpler. So it's a way of exploring general architectural principles or general systemic principles within a system that is more manageable. But the principles are the same. The principles follow from the interpretation of language as a resource for making meaning. But in the case of phonology, while it's still a resource, it's a resource for constructing meanings as sounding. So it is a sounding potential. And this sounding potential is, of course, available as a realizational resource, as an expressive resource for lexicogrammar in the first instance. And then by another step in the hierarchy of stratification for semantics. So that's the role of phonology. It's not interpreted as a rule system, rules to work over lexical entries. Rather, it's a resource, a sounding potential. As a sounding potential, then, it has to include all the possibilities. Both words that have been, if you look from lexicogrammar, have been sounded, and possible ones that haven't been sounded yet, because that is part of the sounding potential of the phonological system of a language.